Blog Talk Radio.
Unmarket Your Business, the podcast, born out of the need to share strategies and techniques that really work to market your business. Think yellow page ads and cold calls are your only choices? That's so last century. You're about to learn tested, tried and true marketing techniques you can apply and master, ones that feel authentic instead of salesy, strategies that are true to who you are and how you want to present yourself to your ideal clients. Let's join our host, Carol Joyce Dunlop, in the studio now and allow business success to move forward. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you are awesome on this cold December morning. I'm in formerly known as Hotlanta. Now it's known as Snowlanta, and I am snowed in, and I decided to do a very special episode with a colleague of mine that I've known for a good while, Marie Fratoni. She is waiting with bated breath on the other side of this line, and she's going to be on here in a minute. And we want to do something special because you know what? You're snowed in. You can't do anything. You're like, oh, what do I do? Well, what you need to do right now is get ready to find your clients everywhere because Marie is going to tell us how to do that. Marie, are you online and ready?
I am. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Thank you so much for getting up out of your snowy bed and coming and joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
It is going to be awesome. Okay, as everyone knows, I'm Carol Dunlop, your host. I kind of jump the gun. Sometimes I just forget all that I'm supposed to say. And I'm welcoming you to the Unmarket Your Business podcast, where we talk about these marketing strategies to get your business. That's to get you more business, more clients, more money. And that's the main reason that I started this podcast. And I want to let everyone know that this podcast is coming up on 1 year of existence. On January 9th, it will be 1 whole year. Woohoo! That I've been here, and I've had some awesome guests, distributed some awesome information, and people are getting stuff out of it. So let's get to it. Let's talk to Marie and see what she has for us. Marie, please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go in and find out how we can get clients everywhere.
Well, awesome. Thanks so much, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
I have been really at this work for a long time, and I am very committed that women prosper. That is my stand in my life and my business. And it's not that I don't want men to prosper, but it's like I really want to rally around women to say it's time. It's time to step up. It's time to build. It's time to grow. It's time to make more money and just become the leaders that we're actually meant to be. And what I've been doing is I've been working as a professional coach and consultant for many, many years, and I'm a professional speaker. And I love what I do. It's taken different iterations through the years. But, I really have found a home in working with entrepreneurs, really smart, talented people who really want to make a difference, who want to really leave an impact, make an impact in their life, and to really do the things that really light them up and make a difference for so many others.
I love that. And I love the fact that you say you like working with women and you want to see women prosper. It was so funny. I had a conversation with an accountability partner last week, 2 weeks ago, and we were coming up with our, how you're always continually changing your branding. I don't want to say changing, but tweaking your branding, really being laser focused on what you want. And we were having a discussion about should we put women in our label, our USP? Do we help women entrepreneurs or whatever? And she said something that really stuck with me because, I feel the same way. I love working with men too, but I really want to see, women be successful. And she said, well, I'm owning the fact that I work with women. I do work with men because men are always going to be around. I don't hate men. I love men. But I really, really want to work with women. That's where I get my best mojo stuff going on, and it works. So I applaud you for that and for everyone out there who can really say who it is and know who it is that they work with. That is like the most important thing in finding your clients. Wouldn't you say so, Marie?
I think so. It affects our marketing and it affects, who our audience is. And I like what you said about, our best mojo, happens when we're working with the right people and the right audience. And, I actually have men clients. I have a couple right now, and I love men too. But it's like what I'm really up for is to really see a shift, in terms of really women stepping up and not like being the support role, but really being the lead role in their own life.
Right. I love that. And we have to. We have to. Even though it's always been said, women are the weaker vessel. It's just that we're weaker sometimes physically. I don't think that and that's just, the strength. The amount of muscle, when you get down to it, the anatomy, the amount of muscle that a man has in his body is usually much more than the amount of muscle that a woman has in her body, just because of the different roles that God gave to us to do. Men are going to be the providers and women are going to have the children. Of course, some of that's changed around a lot, but if you get down to the essence of it, that's really how it is. Anything else, I think, is fair game. Women can lead countries, businesses, families, and everything just like men can. So I like the fact that, it's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with sectioning out who you are looking at, niching down, I'm really laser focusing on this one group of people, whether it's men and women, only women, it doesn't matter. You just got to know who you are. And so let's get into this getting clients everywhere thing. Marie, how did you come up with that? Because I'm interested to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, I was talking with one of my business coaches one day about maybe 7-8 years ago. It's hard to remember now exactly when it was. And I was having a special VIP day with her. And in the conversation, she wanted to kind of take the conversation one way, which I liked. And what really got present was like, she said, you're really great at connecting, and she said, you are one of the best networkers that I've ever met in my life, and you have communities everywhere. And I said, well, I really think that people can get clients everywhere. They just don't know where they are, and they don't know oftentimes what it is that they're offering, so it's hard to find their clients everywhere. And then we just kind of laughed at the name, and then I just looked at her and I just said, get clients everywhere. And I said, that is the name of my business. I've been doing the same work for many, many years, but I rebranded to the name of that business and really created a company inside of that brand about 7 or 8 years ago. And I do think that people really can find their clients pretty much everywhere. I mean, nothing is like full 100%, fail safe. But I think if we really know who we are, and we know what it is that we do, we also know what it is that we don't do. What's not in our bag of tricks, what's not in our bailiwick. What we can do is we can really understand, if we really understand who we serve, what are their issues, and what we do as a solution to those issues. Those people are everywhere. So if you went on a plane, you went on a vacation to Las Vegas, and you started just being yourself and just sharing about what it is that you're doing, your clients are in Las Vegas. I go to Italy every year, and if I have a conversation with people, it's like my clients can be in Italy. They could be right next door in downtown, Norcross. So I just think the key is not so much that you have to market everywhere, but that you have to really get true to who you are, what you do, what your programs are, what your packages are, what your services are, what your products are. And when you can talk about those confidently and clearly, then people show up. They come out of the woodwork and say, I like what you said, and I think you have something for me, so let's have a conversation about working together.
Exactly. You are so right about that. I was actually on a training the other day, and the coach who was leading it was saying that she can tell if a person is for her, meaning going to be in her tribe, someone that she could potentially work with, within 2 minutes of meeting the person and talking with them. And I think if we could get that clear, now we may not know in 2 minutes, it may take us some time, but I really resonated with that because usually I can tell within a few minutes, I wouldn't say 2, but within a few minutes, if someone is right for me. As a matter of fact, I was on a virtual coffee call, and I love to do those virtual coffees because you can do them anywhere. You can do them on phone. You can do them Skype, whatever. And we were just trying to get to know each other because she wanted to be a guest on the podcast. And I'm like, cool. But the conversation turned because something that I said, we were talking about something, and she said, Carol, tell me more about what you do because I think I may need to hire you. And I was like, okay. You just never know where your clients will be. But I think, Marie, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with me, you have to be open to recognizing who your clients are so you can know when to, when you're going to meet them or what they're going to look like. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, and I think that comes from doing the work of really building a brand and building a business. And I know when I work with many clients, sometimes they're brand new. They might have had really very successful jobs in corporate America, really done well, and so they're very smart and very talented and very experienced. But the world of entrepreneurship, as they're opening up a business under their own umbrella, is a little daunting,
right.
Because I think people sometimes have not had the experience of selling. And, sales is a big piece of being an entrepreneur. We've got to obviously get clients to
right.
be able to deliver what it is that we do. And I think there's a lot of people that really have not really, they just want to go out and sell, or they want to go out and just start talking to people about everything that they do, but they don't really, if I say, well, what's the name of your program? They haven't named it. And I always say to them, well, when people have a child, they usually name the child so that they can be distinguished from one of the other kids in the family. And so it's if I look at how I name my program, they will either speak to certain people or they won't. But if I just say, hire me for 6 months of coaching, they might want to do that, but it's there's no name, or if they want to hire me for something. So I think that we have to really go inside, and we have to do, I think, both the inner work and the strategic work to say, what is our business? What are our components of our business? Where do we get our money? Where do we get our clients? What distinguishes this program from that program? And how are you going to offer that so that the right people will start to show themselves up? And, that's not always an easy job. I have a lot of respect for people that are just starting because, when I first started, I didn't have any of that in place. And I had many years where I kind of white-knuckled and really struggled through, but really lining and working up with, very, very great coaches and taking lots of trainings and being in lots of programs has really helped mold. And today I'm still in a program because I love the community and I love learning, and the market is changing, endlessly. I mean, it's just very different than when I first started out. And, but I think really getting clear what your service offerings are, naming them and pricing them appropriately for the level that you're at and what the market level bears, I think is really a very smart thing for all entrepreneurs to do.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with you, which is why I wrote the book and started the podcast, Unmarket Your Business, because we can't do things the same way that we used to, because our marketing today looks a lot different than our marketing 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's so different. And if we don't come out, and one thing that happens with people who kind of start out, or even, like you said, they used to be in corporate and now they're starting out their business, so they're smart, but they just don't know about the business world, is you can't just throw anything out there up against the wall and hope that it sticks. You have to have a strategic plan about what you're going to offer, how you're going to put it in the marketplace, how you're going to bring it out there, what you're going to do to get people to notice you. Because if you don't, you'll just get swallowed up by all the noise, because that's what everyone else is trying to do. They're trying to get their stuff out there. They're trying to get you to notice them, and it's all this me. But I really believe that there is a certain group of people for every person that has something to share in this world and put it out there. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, and we talked about this briefly before we came on the air, was that you named your business, your program, or part of, you can get clients everywhere. But we know when we talk about marketing, we always tell people don't try to sell to everybody because everybody doesn't exist and you'll wind up selling to nobody. So can you kind of break that down for us a little bit, how you are able to make this everywhere thing work, really, really work?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in a way we were just really talking about that. I mean, there are entrepreneurs. If I look at myself, I say, well, I work with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are everywhere. They're in every country. They're in every county. They're in every state. So, I may not want to work in several countries, but if I just look at the United States, or if I look at Canada, or maybe some of Europe or whatever, I can look at, I'm going to market to entrepreneurs. I'm not going to market to every single person in the country. So I think that's what, I once worked with a company, and part of the training was, you market to anybody that has skin. And I mean, on some level, that's true. If you've got skincare programs, then obviously you need to have people that have skin. But it's like, that would make it so incredibly difficult. So when you market to everyone, there's the saying that says you actually market to no one. So I think going back to who is it that you really serve, who do you want to serve, who do you like to be with? It's like there's a zillion things that I could do because I'm pretty talented, I'm pretty smart, and I'm kind of on the older end of the entrepreneurial scale. So I've had a lot of work experience that has been really, really great, so I can tap into that. But if somebody says to me, do you want to, we have a really great opening to sell vacuum cleaners, would you like to, work with our team and help them grow? I could say, well, if I had to, I probably could do it and make it work because I've got the skill set to be able to do it. But I have no interest in vacuum cleaners. I don't even own one. I have somebody else vacuum my house. So it's like,
I know that's right.
But I could actually do it. So I'm really interested in, like, I go to events where my audience goes to. I go to speak to audiences that are interested in hearing my message. I write newsletters for entrepreneurs and give them tips and information that helps them grow along the way. I kind of stay in that lane. But there are entrepreneurs everywhere. Or if someone had a skincare company, yes, people have skin, but it's like, what skin issues do you deal with? Do you work with teenage issues? Do you work with acne? Do you work with dry skin? Do you work with aging skin? Do you work with, whatever it is? I think we have to really look at how can we do that. When we really get clear and really do the work of really understanding our target market, which, so many people say, oh, I've done that. And then you ask them some questions and why they don't have any business. They really haven't. They'll say, well, I work with women. Well, that's really not a target market. That really actually is 50% of the population. But what about those women you serve, and what can you do that? I know you know what I'm talking about here, but a lot of new entrepreneurs just think, oh, I've just got vitamins, I can give them to anybody, and they wonder why their business doesn't grow because they are trying to, slam something up against the wall and hoping that something will stick, and it just makes their life harder. It doesn't mean that it couldn't happen, but it just, why make it harder? I say, quit being the Lone Ranger, stop suffering in silence, stop trying to power through making it work, and align yourself with people that can really help support you and make your way easy.
Right. I applaud you for saying that because I don't know. I think let's just stick with women entrepreneurs. When we're in corporate, we are so, I guess, sheltered by the corporate, egg that we're in. Whatever business we're in, we're kind of sheltered by that because even though we're on this career track to move up in ranks and, become a manager, director, and so forth, the corporation itself has these trainings that that women are scheduled to go to, and I'm just going to say women, of course it's men too, but that their employees are scheduled to go to help make them better at their job, right? So you go to these trainings, you go to these conventions, you go to these sessions and things like that to make you an excellent employee for that company. So then you get out of that and you say, oh, man, I could do this. Let me start my own business. And then you get out and then you're like, okay, what do I do? All right, I know that, this is the idea that I have, and you just run full force ahead thinking that you have all the answers, and you really don't. You have to get input from colleagues, coaches and experts who are pretty much already doing what you want to do, have done what you want to do, and are in the process of formulating something so that they can give you some expertise and kind of reach down and help you. And I just think that we shouldn't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of asking for help, searching for help. Because, Marie, you and I, same thing. We're looking for coaches. We're looking for experts. We're looking for mentors who can help guide us along the way. Because, like you said, we don't have to be a Lone Ranger. We're all in this together. I don't care if we're all looking at the same audience. We each have something unique to bring there. Marie, could you give us, like, a couple of tips, I guess, to help us know, you've given us a lot of information, but to help us know really how we can focus in on our niche, our people, our peeps, as I like to call them, so that we can stop, throwing things against the wall and stop being so broad? How can we kind of do that?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways to go. It's like, one of the first questions I just ask people is like, who do you like? Who do you like to work with? And, like, what are the kinds of problems that you like to solve that you think you have, some mastery in and that you can really make a difference? That's one thing. I think the other piece is really understanding what is it that your offerings are. Like, what's your service about? What's your company about? And what are the problems that it solves? What are the solutions that it provides for people? And then you really look at, who are the people that have the issues that your solutions will provide and make a difference for. And you've really got to look at, creating almost like a particular person. Now, one of the things, I'm going to give people a shortcut here, but this is something that I learned on my own, and I speak about it a lot now. It's like oftentimes our ideal client, our target market is ourself, because we usually sometimes created a business because of issues that, we've had that we tried to transform. I mean, I didn't understand marketing. I understood sales very well. But sometimes I would try to sell to people that had no interest in what I was doing, or I didn't even know if they had an interest or not, or if they had a pulse or not, or whatever. But I would sales, power through it. But I didn't really understand how to market to people to get them to actually want or listen to what it is that I wanted to do. And I think that's something that is, people don't take the time to really look at it. And, if you said to me, Marie, who's your target audience, who's your target client, she's got a name. She's got a physical description. I know where she lives. I know how many kids she has. I know whether she has pets or not. I know what she's dealing with. I know that she's, really making some pretty decent money, but not enough to really make it all work. And she's got 1 foot in corporate America and 1 foot inside of her business, and kind of, afraid that she might not make it with her business, so she can still jump back into corporate America. She's afraid that she's going to have to pull her kids out of private school because she really can't make the tuition payments. She's going to sell that second car. There's a lot of things that they're doing. She's cutting back on her cable and, leaving lights off in her house to save, extra pennies. Because that's what my clients actually tell me that they're doing. They're not doing expansive kinds of things. They're actually doing restrictive kinds of behavior, which will actually help keep you small. So, I've developed that, for lack of anything better, avatar, several years ago, and I keep tweaking it because I keep learning things from my clients, and I listen to what it is that they actually say to me, and I use what they say to me in my marketing, and that actually has really made a difference. But a lot of people just say, well, I work with, women over 50. Well, great. Well, what is it that you do with them? What are they struggling with? What are they dealing with that would have them hire you? And they haven't, gone, I think, enough to understand how to really pinpoint that. So when you pinpoint that and you have that out of your head and you have it on paper, or maybe you draw a little picture or you draw a design of who this person is, then you can start to look at, where do these people go? Where do they, where do they hang out? Where do they do their life? So that you can go there and be with them everywhere. So, it takes the time to really do it. And I think most people don't take the time to actually work on their business and really do the thinking part of it, the planning, the strategizing, the wondering if, the planning piece. And, I have to keep myself in my planning pieces because that's where I fall short myself. I have to keep myself ahead of my game. But really, I think, if we can, stop doing our business and really taking the time to work and plan and organize, and, I work with my virtual assistant and my bookkeeper, and, I try to include what it is that I'm up to, and then I certainly have my coaches that I work with to help me, be pulled along. But I think it makes a lot of sense for people to do that work so that they can really see, and then they know where their people are, and they can listen for what people are saying and say, I heard what you were saying at this event. I'd love to have a conversation. I think I might have some resources that would be good for you. Let's set up a time to have our virtual coffee, or, an in-person coffee, or whatever, or Skype meeting, and go from there.
I love that. I mean, I love every single thing that you've said, because myself, I had to go through that. I had to realize that, I can't serve everyone, which, I think we, in our head, we really know we can't serve everyone, but we try to serve everyone anyway, because we have this fear if we don't reach out to everyone, we're somebody could be slipping through the cracks. Oh my God, what about that one person that walked away? And I think once we learn that when we have the right messaging, when we have the right products, we have the right mindset, that we can reach the people that are really for us. And then there are always peripheral people who will come in. They're listening on the outside and say, what did you say? Oh, let me go in there. But our main clients, the main people who really resonate with us, those are the ones that we can make the biggest impact for. It's like we go small, we niche down, we find that certain group of people, we start working with them, they get success, and then they go tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, and then it becomes something huge, and then we're like, wow, how did that happen? It was because we had the courage and, I guess, the guts to just niche down and really, like you said, do that work. If we don't do that work, if we don't really figure out who we're actually talking to, we can't, I don't think we'll be successful. And I fault general marketing for that. Like how when you get ready to open your business, they tell you, you need to do this, you need to figure out that. They go, learn the demographics. And then the only thing we hear is, how old is this person? Is it a man or a woman? And maybe a couple other things, but we don't get really down deep into, like you said, where do they hang out? What are their fears? What are their pain points? How can I help them? And that helps us a lot. That helps us to really be clear. And I would say that clarity is one of the main things that a lot of people are missing, because we're all muddled up inside our head. And if we're not clear, our message can't be clear,
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, I have a background. I spent a lot of time in corporate America and really working for like national consulting firms and training and development firms. And I've gotten to see a lot of different business types, and I worked in the human resource area and was a real leader. I always jokingly say, the company that I worked with was founded in 1899, and I was the first woman that they hired that wasn't a secretary. And I created a division that was actually their biggest revenue producer, and it was, marketing to women. They were selling to women, and it was all guys that were doing it, and they were masters at what they did. They were really awesome people, but they were missing the boat in terms of who their market was, who actually bought their services. And most, HR representatives and HR leaders are women. So it was just really kind of interesting. So now, if there's a corporate company that calls me, and I actually happen to have the time or the interest in doing that particular project, I might say yes. But I'm actually not marketing to them. They just know me from the past, or they know me from something that I did, or somebody said, oh, call Marie. If I have the interest and I have the time and it's like, hey, I'm open to the income and I think I could make a difference, I'll do that. But it's not really where I market. So my newsletters are not addressed to a corporate audience. They're addressed to people who are building a business and growing that. So, I once learned from a great coach that you can market to your audience, but you could sell to everyone. So, you could sell to anyone if they come across. But your market is what's going to really bring that. So if somebody comes up and says, hey, can I come into your program? It's like, sure. That's just a call. But it's not going to help you if you start to say, I can help everybody and I can do this and my products and my programs can help out. I really listen. I like what you said earlier about sometimes when you're having a conversation, you can be with somebody for a couple of minutes and know whether or not they're going to be your client. And I think I've been able to develop that because I've developed my antenna, and it's not like everywhere I go I'm looking to sell something, because that really isn't who I am. But people just tell me. I mean, if I'm at a networking group or I'm at a conference, people are saying that's one of the biggest problems they have is that they think they're really good. They know that they can help people, but they just don't have enough clients to make it work. And one of the pieces that seems to be missing unanimously is the sales process, is that people are uncomfortable with sales if they've never had to do that for themselves. I mean, part of my story is I've been selling since I was 10, so I have some facility with it. It's easy for me to do it because I've been doing it for a long time. I didn't always understand the marketing piece. So, I think if we can really, get with people and teach them the process of selling and helping them when they get on a call to do a sales conversation and to get them comfortable with making asks, ASK, that we can, it's like, would you like to be added to my email list? Would you like to be added to my invitation list? Is it okay if I send you my free download? Is it okay if I connect with you in a month? Would you like to come out to the Women's Network? Would you like to come and be part of my program? Those are all different asks. If I'm doing a strategy session with someone, I call mine business breakthrough session. I really look for a business breakthrough. Like, where's a breakthrough that might be wanting to happen, but by yourself in monologue, you can't create that. But in a dialogue with somebody that's listening for you, something could happen. I'm listening to what it is that they're saying, and I have a plan in my conversation. I'm just not shooting the breeze with people. I'm listening to see, are they something that I could make a difference for, and could I help? And if I think I can, and I think that they're right for one of my programs, then I might invite them to be in that particular program that was right for them at this time of their business. And, having done the work ahead of time, I look at my life now and say, it's easy. You can really actually systematize things so that you can actually have predictable income. You can plot out your success. And, the biggest thing that is my Achilles heel, just to be transparent here, is, doing my own planning. I could plan anybody's life out really beautifully. But, it's like really taking the time to say, okay, where am I going to be in the next 6 months? And, the first thing I do is plot my vacation, book that in, and then I look at what are the finite things that I've got. And then I have to really look at, really making sure that whatever it is that I'm offering has some consistency, some flow, makes sense to be able to offer that. And, for the most part, that works pretty well. Sometimes I'm, putting in my Band-Aids because I've been too outward focused, not enough for myself.
Exactly. I love it. And, Marie, I could sit here and I could just listen to you and we could talk because we're so on the similar level with helping people. But our time is really running down. We're almost out of time, actually. And I would love for you to tell people how to find you and tell them, I know you have a program coming up, so let us know about that, and then we're going to let you get on with your morning.
Well, thank you so much. It's been really fun. It's just the time goes by, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I think if people would like to reach me, they can just shoot me a message at getclientseverywhere.com. They can visit me there, and they can send a message if they'd like to connect. There's some free downloads on there if they'd like. And also, I have a Facebook page that's Get Clients Everywhere. It's listed on that. And then for people that like to do retreats or like to go on a retreat to really take care of themselves, also on Facebook, I have a page that's called Reinvent Yourself in Italy. And for 10 years, I've been taking people to Italy on a really great vacation and time to reflect and rejuvenate themselves. And that's always really fun. What's coming up for me in the next time is that starting on January 5th, I've got a program that's one of my staple and core offerings that's called Networking Savvy, 30 Days to Connect and Grow. And it's for people that, consider themselves to be savvy networkers. We want them on the line with us. And for people that are newbies that kind of go, when the thought of networking comes, they kind of cringe or they don't know what to say or they don't know what to do, or they really haven't been trained properly in terms of how to build a professional network as opposed to going to a networking event. And it's just a 30-day program. It's a great structure where we have a call on Mondays and Fridays for a month to actually kick off 2018 powerfully, and we learn how to network online and offline so that we can really build our community, build our tribe, get the right prospects in for our business, and if somebody wants to really expand their list, we have people that have really expanded it, 100 people, in that short period of time just by participating in the program. So, you can go read about that program on getclientseverywhere.com. It's called Networking Savvy, 30 Days to Connect and Grow. We have people from all over who will be part of that program. We're just launching it right now. So
awesome.
Fun.
I love it. Everyone, go there right now, getclientseverywhere.com. Marie, thank you so much for joining us and being so transparent with your information, and I know it's helped some people that are listening right now. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate you getting up out of your bed this morning and joining me on this snowy day in Atlanta. So we will be talking again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thanks for what you're doing in the world, too.
Oh, and thank you so much. All right, everyone, thank you. Please join me again this coming Thursday for our regular episode at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then, and everyone have a great rest of the weekend.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We truly appreciate it. For information about guests, products, or services that were mentioned in this episode, log on to our website at www.csicorporation.com/unmarketing. To learn more, get a glimpse of our upcoming schedule, and join the unmarketing nation of entrepreneurs who are using marketing techniques that work right now. Until next time, keep moving forward.